Arise, minions, and welcome to unMadeGaming. We are here. We are back for another episode of Mundus Novus. This, of course, is episode 37. This is Arc 3. If you only recall seeing one arc on the YouTube, that's because the first two were not streamed. But stay tuned, because eventually I'll write a recap for both of those first two arcs. But that is neither here nor there. We are currently in New Orleans. This is episode 37, called Lune Rouge, Destin Noir, which means Red Moon, Dark Night. Or Dark
Destiny.
Dark Destiny.
No, Black Destiny.
Yeah, all those words, but French. That being said, if you like what we do here and you want to support the channel, the best way to do that is over on our Patreon, link in the description down below. While you're down there clicking on that link, join us in the Discord, be a part of the community, be a part of the conversation. And without further ado, previously on Mundus Novus. Trapped in the bayou, the investigators were hunted by a pack of wolves, led by a terrifying werewolf, forcing them into a desperate retreat. In a fierce battle, Cyrus was badly injured, but the group managed to drive the werewolf into a blood frenzy before William, regaining his resolve, landed the fatal shot. As the werewolf's body twisted back into human form, the investigators discovered mysterious tattoos, hinting at a deeper connection to the ritual. We begin as you return, battered, somewhat bloody, all of you dirty, to the streets of New Orleans as you trek your way out of the bayou. The sun has fallen below the skyline of the city. You are tired from walking through the bayou, hot, sticky. You moved a lot of rocks. You fought a lot of wolves as you make your way onto the streets, the cobblestone streets proper. What are the six of you doing?
I think Alec would like.
Sorry.
You can bleed as a free action.
Okay, great.
I think Alec would like to either as they are entering the streets, or maybe actually ideally along the path back as they're still in the bayou. They would like to pull Wyla aside for a few moments.
Okay, you can do so. You said this is while you're walking through the bayou still?
Yeah, as they're still in nature, that would be a much more comfortable place, I think, for Alec to be, and probably Wyla too.
Absolutely.
So Alec's still probably very flustered, frustrated, angry, but pulls her aside and maybe is just a little bit too rough as they take Wyla's elbow and says, Wyla, my dear, this is probably not the best time for such a conversation given my current disposition. I've been reluctant to say something in the past, but it's clear that I should have stepped in sooner.
Did I do something wrong?
Nothing wrong exactly, but well, I need to talk to you about Martha. You know, there's a great deal to admire about Martha. She's a very clever girl. She's a survivor, and her contribution to our team is quite unique. But you know, she is a city creature, and like all members of society, she demands conformity to her own expectations and her own experiences. And I need you to understand that your contribution here, your unique contribution here, is valuable. You should not let her confidence in her path create doubt in your own. And more than anything else, you need to remember that you are most likely to succeed in life by being more like yourself than like anyone else.
I'm not entirely sure what to say.
Don't leave your bow behind next time.
Oh. Right. I was told that it clashed with the outfit.
Don't listen to her. Do the right thing.
Okay. It's also very, I don't know if it's okay to carry a bow and arrow through the city.
it might be okay to carry it through the city when we're on the way to the bayou.
Okay. Okay. I'm not really sure what is and isn't okay with weapons uh in a city.
My dear, next time I need you to ask. Don't do it for the sake of fashion.
There's a look on her face that like uh is a sort of confusion that she would ever do anything for the sake of fashion, rather than what she was told as like the newcomer to the group. And she goes, I think I understand. Would I have been a help in with the wolves?
Yes, you would have been a help with the wolves. With
Okay.
a bow. With a bow.
Okay, and that's why you're mad.
I'm not mad at you, but would you like to do me a favor?
Okay.
I find I need a little bit of centering. Would you read to me?
I'm. You say a lot of words in like a very pretty kind of way. When you read, I'm not great at that.
Let's take this book and open it just here. And Alec hands her a book, opens it up to a particular marker, and says, "Read this for me, please."
She begins to read this, and I will read the passage, but she begins to read this, but it is through no fault of her own. It is the kid in elementary school who was very unprepared to read in front of the class, and every word comes out very staccato, where it's like word pause, like every word is punctuated with a period or a long comma. But she does read the passage. It just takes longer than it would have had Alec read it. And it doesn't flow as nicely. But she does read, "Finish each day and be done with it. You have done what you could. Some blunders and absurdities no doubt crept in. Forget them as soon as you can. Tomorrow is a new day. Begin it well and serenely and with too high a spirit to be encumbered with your old nonsense." So she reads that, slow and staccato. And then sort of looks up to you, not in a like a wanting of praise, but in a like almost apologetically, because she knows that's not how it was meant to be read. And she sort of hands you the book back, and she says, "Did that help?"
That was perfect, my dear.
Okay.
And now that is her memento, or their memento. Can I remove a mental condition?
Yes, you may. Yes, you may. And speaking of removing mental conditions, I was just reminded, and I will take a moment to pause and bring some deference to this. We have a new background on our stream that I totally forgot about. It is hand drawn / painted by Melissa here, who fully made this complete from scratch. So check that. I totally forgot that we all talked about that 2 months ago, and then it's been 2 months since we played.
And
new
the character art too is there.
character art has been added to the overlay. All of the character art has been done by Melissa. You can see it all on gamesandstories.com. The background, as well as the new title logo and font, done by Melissa. So huge shout out to Melissa for upping the presentation of the stream with some beautiful new artwork. So thank you so much for that. That being said, you may use your memento and you may heal one condition. As the rest of you continue through the bayou back towards New Orleans, is there anything else you all are doing before we segue to the mean streets of New Orleans?
Does Cyrus need like assistance with his injuries? Like is he having trouble walking or anything like that? Or
Walking,
He's
no,
old.
but he's definitely favoring what what looks like maybe a dislocated shoulder, but
Didn't
Sheesh.
we do something about your
You did-
wounds at
you
the
did
end there?
patch him up. Yeah, so he's
Okay.
not bleeding anymore. So
Yeah,
Okay.
he is bandaged properly. They are soaked, but he is properly bandaged. Yeah, you got latched onto pretty hard by
Mhm.
yeah,
a wolf, huh?
yeah.
That's
Oh
rough.
wait, was he bitten?
He was
Yeah.
bitten, but not in a way that would turn you guys,
Oh, okay.
which is Cyrus has enough going on.
That was
Had
the
it been-
secret.
That was the secret. Had it been William who got bit, well, 100%
No.
chance of becoming
Sorry.
a werewolf.
No.
Yeah, so I
so
think
go ahead.
I was just saying, so Signy would just, as they're traveling back, she would just ask him, "Are you okay? Do you need anything?"
Well, I definitely need a rest. But it hurts. Definitely hurts. But you know, our good doctor did a good job patching me up. But it's definitely painful. But I'll get through it. But
We'll
thanks
fix your
for-
shoulder when we get back to town.
But thanks for checking on me, Signy. And he asked me a question back right after our little encounter there. He asked me if I had a death wish. And I wanted to tell you, if you most of all, that I don't. I have no will to die. I'm not excited about that. I'm not looking forward to it.
So
I know
what?
I know a little bit too much of what's to come, and trying to do my best to stay around as much as I can for a variety of reasons. And he lowers his voice a little bit, one of which is you. But
She blushes a little bit.
but you know, it's not like I deserve anything more than anyone else here. But I also am trying to protect everyone, and I've got a lot of other things already going on. And if my actions might save the rest of you and give you more time to do what y'all need to do later, then you know I'm willing to risk it here and there. But I'm not trying to get myself killed.
Cyrus, and she puts a hand on your arm because if she feels like you're rambling a little bit. Cyrus, I understand you want to protect us, but you jumping in and taunting a werewolf? You can't protect us if you're dead or worse.
That's a true statement. I agree with that.
So
I wasn't sure he was going to kill me.
maybe not, but look at you. And she
I've
you're
had
covered in
worse.
blood. Well, let's not test your limits anymore.
All right. Well, I did promise you that I would be more careful about testing yours. So I guess that's a fair statement.
She blushes again. Well, okay. So she links her arm through his as his good arm as they're walking. Next time, we'll just take it one step at a time, okay?
I can do that. Thanks for your support in all forms. And he kind of leans a little more on her arm.
Yeah, she will support him if if he's feeling tired. And then she walks and you, William, how are you faring?
William is walking along, and he is alternatingly, like fidgeting with or gripping very tightly a cartridge from the revolver that he hadn't loaded in. It's a silver bullet. That's what he exchanged his memento for. And when he hears her asking the question, he stops walking for a brief moment and lets out a really, really, really deep sigh and says, surprisingly, not bad. I'm feeling better. Though you can tell when he will like alternate, like he'll be playing with it and then just suddenly like grip his hand really, really tight around the bullet. He's kind of lying. But for him, this is an improvement.
Mm-hmm.
He's trying to work his way out of his frightened state after fainting and then shooting and then all the adrenaline coming down.
I think she will like just give him a pat on the shoulder as they're walking. It's like, good. I'm glad.
Not everyone that can walk away from a angry encounter with a werewolf, William. You should be proud of yourself.
He'll also lean into closer to Signy and say, when we get back to the hotel, I'm going to need your help holding him in place to reseat that shoulder.
Oh, sure.
Just to distract him.
I'm sure I can come up with something.
You know,
Much easier to do as a surprise rather than trying working the shoulder back in.
Gotcha. I'll be whatever assistance you need.
Thanks.
Shut up.
Go on. A distraction, you say, Sips tea. Outstanding. Collectively, the group of you, this is interesting. This is the second long emotional jaunt after an encounter with something akin to werewolves. The last being when you left the graveyard, the cemetery, after your encounter. Each of you walked separately, each of you bearing the weight of what had happened, the weight of your own successes and failures, and each of you harboring a space in your heart that said, I'm not cut out for this. The second encounter with something like a werewolf, the six of you walk together, lean on one another's shoulders, offer each other care, both physically and mentally, and now pulled together in a moment of crisis, renewed in your vows to defend the world of the separation of the world of the known and the unknown from meeting each other. We watch as the six of you enter into the gaslit lamps of the streets of New Orleans. The sound of your feet clacking against the cobblestone, the occasional horse-drawn buggy, and eventually, needing to, the rest of you make your way to the hotel, where you can have fresh baths run for you, shoulders can be reset, blood can be washed off, and clothes can be exchanged. We watch as all of you enter in. We have a montage of getting ready. If any of you wants a specific montage, please stop me. But you will all regather in the sitting room of the hotel, that open foyer / waiting area. Once you have bathed, redressed, William, you can go ahead and roll me a medicine check with a bonus of 1 for the assistance with from Signy.
or whatever Signy's distraction is, Cyrus is slightly blushing and then screaming. Ah!
Yeah, I think
That was. Sorry, go ahead.
I think she would just be like sitting there, maybe holding his good hand or something like that, like oh, this will be fine. And she'd be like, just think, if this was supposed to be a recon mission, you guys weren't supposed to engage. Imagine if Alec and I weren't there, like we originally weren't supposed to be.
And while he's looking at her while she's saying that, like when he's like halfway through a sentence, he's gonna quickly lift up and push back on his shoulder to pop it back.
It would have been like what do you have? It's like, I think she's like jokingly like berating him a little bit. It's like, what do you have to say for yourself, Cyrus? That you guys, this could have gone a lot worse if we weren't there to help you.
I must say, as an audience member, gentle scorn is the most Signy way to flirt I think we have seen. like on his good arm, just sort of like, oh, it's okay, there. Now just think, had you not listened to what I said, you maybe would have been less injured there, big guy. Pop!
Oh, Lord.
Bloody all that is holy woman.
Just conveniently timed for the like right at the maximum point of skull that the pain of the shoulder.
Yeah, it's like, what do you have to say for yourself?
No, right where Cyrus should have answered. Instead, you just hear, "Ow!"
That's what I thought. And then she gently pats his hand.
Oh, what's worse? Your words or William's medicinal skills. Jeez. Oh.
Cyrus, you can heal both of your conditions after William's care.
All right. So, thank you, Will. Thank you.
Remind me, do we have any other than mementos? Do we have anything else that we can do with our mental injuries?
You can share a scene with somebody. So I will say, if you have two conditions, Alec, I'll say sharing a scene with Wyla will count as like you consoling her and the two of you back and forthing, plus a memento. I'll let you get rid of two.
I'd also like to say, like, our chat, like Cyrus and Signy's chat, could heal her frightened condition.
Yep, I'll take that as well.
And then if we all do like a bathing montage or something like that, like when we get home,
separately,
we're all, like,
please.
Yeah, separately, when we're all like cleaning up and like refreshing ourselves, that could, like, at least for Signy, that would get rid of her exhausted condition.
Rest. Let's see.
With my arm,
describing a scene together. Yeah, describing a scene together with one or several other PCs to recover. Lets you recover from two conditions. So your time, Signy, your time with Cyrus will recover two conditions. Alec, your time with Wyla / your memento will cover two or three if you have a third one. And William, if you have any, I think your memento would cover that one.
Yeah, that's what when he was walking and playing with the memento.
Yep,
that's what he's working on.
That's what I thought. So yeah, you guys we'll have a tub montage separately, of course.
Plumbing montage, like, yay, plumbing.
Yes. And
then a fashion choice montage with Martha trying to figure out what she's going to wear.
Right. And then we have the opposite where we see a moment where Martha's like picking the outfit as she is wont to do, and Wyla just puts on a comfortable outfit and grabs her bow and arrow and leaves and is just sitting. She's the first one there because it takes her so little time to get dressed if you only have one outfit, and is just sat with a bow and a bundle of arrows, or a quiver of arrows, just sort of sat in the lobby of this hotel, absolutely getting a few strange looks. As if we recall, she is red-haired and is now an 1860s version of Brave, of Merida. She sits in the lobby here, waiting for all of you to come down. As the group gathers, what is your next destination? You sort of survived a relatively harrowing encounter You found some strange information. Cyrus talked to a ghost. But it is just after nightfall. It's a few hours after nightfall, so probably like it's what is it? It's November. It's November, so it's probably like nightfall was probably like 5 o'clock. So it's probably like 7. So the night is still technically young.
So, my memory might be failing me on this, but the when we visited the apothecary, that lady there was one who kind of gave us the most information on the witches and the werewolves and what was going on, right? Or am I thinking of somebody else?
She didn't really give us anything on the werewolves.
Yeah, she didn't
Okay.
give you any of the
Talked about
werewolves.
witches. Took
Yes.
it,
I don't think
Wait.
anyone's given you information on the
We don't have much-
werewolves.
No, it was the ghost, the
the
seance that
seance.
gave us the
Oh,
werewolf
okay.
stuff. Yeah.
I just feel like there's somebody we should be checking in with at this point.
Oh.
You know, well, sorry, Cyrus knows. Cyrus. Cyrus knows that the woman who runs the Verdant Vale, the apothecary, offered to assist if you came back and asked for it. Signy got some information from Lucas Grant at the Crescent Observer. That seems like he gave all the information he could have given. I know that in between the panels, as it were, there has been talk about Madeleine Broussard. There has been talk about the Abbey. I think that's the only places we've talked about.
Okay.
Yeah, like also like between the lines, Mike also mentioned that Cyrus's talk with Lillian is what is it helped change her mind to possibly take action with her cabal of witch friends or something.
Yeah. She was
'Cause,
still a little bit on the fence, but
yeah.
we might be
Like-
able to sway.
Yeah, like the overall opinion is I don't see it. I'm not getting involved. So that's like, but now Cyrus helped push her past that point a little bit.
I was just thinking we also, or like whoever we were going to talk to, be careful in what we say, because we did just kind of leave a dead body out in the woods who now looks human, not werewolf, with bullets in it that would match my gun. And forensics not being so great now, but silver bullet to silver bullet would be kind of weird.
Yeah, not many people carry those, turns out.
Yeah. So
Oh.
And I think when I don't know, I'm sure who would have come down first, but Signy comes down to the lounge and is sitting at a table, and I think she orders like a double hot chocolate for Martha and with like whipped cream on it, and has it waiting for her when she comes down.
There is absolutely a lack of understanding, and you get 2 hot chocolates.
French. God, how did the French not know this?
Because it's a Swiss drink, not a French drink.
Wyla is sitting there though, so there is something
Yeah, so
to
that's
drink
true.
She gets the
with.
Yeah.
second
That'll
one. Wyla gets one too with whipped cream on it.
Listen, I also know what a double hot chocolate is. Just twice as much chocolate. What is a double hot chocolate?
Yeah, it's basically slightly more liquidy pudding at that point.
actually, we made those one night actually while we were skiing just recently, and it was surprisingly good.
Mhm.
It was a
All right.
really, really thick hot chocolate.
Hell yeah. So I will say, hot chocolates abound. The group of you assemble in the lobby.
William gets a tea instead of a hot chocolate because that's just wrong.
Not a bourbon or a
No.
whiskey.
Nope, just a tea.
Ooh.
Like we'll have a
Cyrus
hot
takes a-
chocolate with bourbon in it. And say, well, what's next?
Martha's acting like a brooding child at the moment because she kicked rocks the whole way back because she was pouty that she couldn't help, and then she also overheard Alec and Wyla, so then she was double pouty. And then at some point after seeing Wyla, dress in the Wyla outfit, Martha kind of goes over and mumbles, I didn't tell you not to take it. I just said that if you were going to take it, you should probably hide it behind your cloak. And she kind of like hides the bow and arrow underneath the cloak and like just pouts her way downstairs.
She as she leaves, she says, I'm still learning. And that's the last thing she says as she heads downstairs.
Wyla.
So Martha's brooding over her hot chocolate now, not talking to anybody.
Okay. A tea is delivered. Wyla is sipping her hot chocolate, quite happy with it. What is everyone else doing as you all arrive to the lobby here, the inconspicuous lobby?
I think Signy would she's sitting at the table with the two girls and waiting for whomever else to show up, and I think she notices Martha. Is the hot chocolate not chocolatey enough, Martha?
It's fine.
It's too tart.
Yes, it's too Swiss. It's not French enough. Well, you girls both deserve it. You guys, and she's lowering her voice so she's not projecting. You guys both survived your first werewolf encounter. Me too. And so I think it's worth celebrating, don't you think?
Kind of takes her spoon and she just pokes at it and then takes a sip, I guess.
Well, you both handled yourselves very well.
Wyla should have taken her bow.
Well, and she gives Wyla a sympathetic look and it's like, it was supposed to be just a scouting mission. So the encounter with the wolves was completely off the cuff. So I imagine if we had been expecting to have a fight on our hands, we would have prepared ourselves a little differently, right?
Probably.
Yes.
At this point, Alec walks in and sits down and says, yes, but we're not always in a position to be able to predict when combat happens, so we should be ready when we go into the wilds to face the
Rolls
wilds.
eyes.
It all worked out in the end, didn't it?
We're alive.
Drinks hot chocolate, covers half face.
And right as Alex says, "We're alive," the little voice bubble, Cyrus walks in very slowly. He's like
Still adjusting the rotator cuff as
he's
you
moving, but he's just clearly sore, right? So he walks up and sits down.
Sending angry looks at William for the shoulder relocation.
Yeah, if
Evening,
anyone
everyone.
if Wyla looks at Cyrus or think, oh, don't worry, he did that to himself.
This is fucking brutal.
and she casts a cheeky glance at Cyrus and kind of winks, and then goes back to the girls. It's like taunting a werewolf might not be the best idea. So that's one lesson we could learn from this. Next to preparedness. And she reaches over, she pats both girls on the hands, reassuringly. She doesn't want them to feel guilty or anything like that about what happened.
So everyone is looking much more fresh. So that's fresh and clean. So good. We feeling better.
And Signy nods and you?
Much better. He kind of glances back to the two girls, back to Signy. I'm doing fine. Thank you. Yes, much better.
Well, I'm doing better if anyone is interested. Martha,
I see less angry.
Melissa is on fire this weekend, guys. I know people watch the shows on YouTube out of orders and things like that, but this weekend Melissa has been on point.
Martha, I want to apologize for being as snippy as I was out in the bayou. It wasn't your fault. I was overcome.
Well, I guess that's okay then. You're forgiven.
Good, good. That being said, what should we do next?
Well, we don't have a lot of time until the blood moon, and we still don't know where the boy is. We can find the boy. We can avoid the ritual, and I think all this would go much, much easier than having to go back out in the bayou and try to stop a ritual again where we already know, well, chances are there are more werewolves. And we only faced one this time.
Well, I
So
do
if we can-
have. Sorry.
Good, Martha.
If we can find the boy faster rather than later, that might be a plan. Martha, sorry, you were saying something?
Oh, well, if you hadn't noticed, I do have my nun habit on, so I could sneak in to any place there are nuns.
Hadn't
if
we
that is
decided
helpful.
that the boy might be at the, I'm sorry, was it a rectory, a nunnery? What was it?
Abby?
The Abbey
An
of
abbey?
Centuries.
An abbey? Hadn't we decided that we thought the boy might be in the abbey?
Based on the vision that I had, I think Martha was able to confirm that. With the window, with the stained glass.
Then what's the best way for us to go about this? We have Martha ready to sneak in.
And I did happen to go to school there, so I know my way around.
Perfect.
Is there anyone else who might have reason or a story about why they would need to be at the Abbey or make a visit to the Abbey?
Signy like cocks an eyebrow and like sips her hot chocolate. I think I have an idea that might work. And Martha would be perfect for a secondary spy, as it were. I think we should go in the morning, obviously. What if two of us pretended to be wards or guardians of a young lady, a young lad, and we're looking to have them join the Abbey for educational purposes or what young people get sent to abbeys for, and we want a tour.
So
Who in our group could possibly pose as a couple?
Well, she doesn't get what you're putting down, and she looks to Alec. Does Alec and William, do they look the same?
Shit.
does Alec and William look the same? That's a really good question. Alec, no, I don't think so, because I think William has dark brown hair. Alec is quite blonde.
Blonde? Okay.
They're cousins, so I mean they would have, vaguely similar features coming from the same like ethnic background, if it's like Eastern European or whatever, but that would probably be about it.
The couple doesn't necessarily, could be anybody, could be myself and William, Alec and William, Alec and Cyrus.
William is just looking back and forth from Signy to Cyrus to Signy to Cyrus.
And Cyrus just says,
How about the two of you? Because you get along, you have a rapport.
May I
think they
suggest
could-
that perhaps this couple is friends with a nun from their hometown, and it is Martha who recommends the nunnery to them. We all know that between Signy and Martha, we have the people who are best for interacting with others in our group.
If they get too good of a look at me, I'm worried that they'll recognize me. I
Stay
was
under your veil.
actually, yeah, I could stay under my veil. That might work. I also know that there are a couple like secret little passages wandering around, so I could also use them as a distraction.
Yes, like
Another option.
perhaps if two of us go in the front door, as it were, do you think you'd be able to sneak around?
I think I know that there where all the little secret ways to get around the abbey where it wouldn't be very noticeable.
Well,
I
So
will
you
also
put my
add.
veil on. Hopefully nobody will look too closely.
So two points. The
Habit.
outfit you
Habit.
have does not hide your
Have a
face.
Right. Yeah.
But it does have like a habit, so like the headpiece, and covers like your forehead, so really only just your face is shown. However, one of
one.
you also has a invitation.
Oh, that's right.
mm.
Yeah, but we don't. Well, sorry, I don't know that.
None of you know that except for the one person. But as a
Except for
reminder,
that.
one
Mhm.
person here has an invitation.
Wait,
Yeah.
wait, just is it me?
It's
Yes, yes, Melissa, it is you.
Remember the vague, all shepherd, all block return to the
You have
shepherd
a
or
letter
something?
from the mother's. You have a letter from the Mother Superior.
all I could think just now, there's a TikTok sound where it's like it's supposed to be like Jesus and he's like, one of you will betray me, and then it's the apostle be like, oh, is it me, Jesus? And then Judas goes, is it me, Jesus? And he goes, is it me, Jesus? Is it me?
Yeah. Holding the bag of silver, like me. You're talking about me.
Yeah. Wait, do I have the invitation? This one? Oh shit. Perfect.
Anyway, so Cyrus will say, "Well, I, 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 I can go in, but if someone gets a glimpse of my tattoos, it's probably not going to go over well. It doesn't look exactly like an upstanding Catholic that perhaps I was in my youth. So
Mm.
that may
Wear a
not-
long sleeve shirt and a high collar. You'll be fine.
We
Then could I recommend then that perhaps Martha leads Cyrus and I through these secret passages, and William poses with Signy.
do
Mhm.
angles. It works for me.
I think I can do that.
And Wyla, of course.
And Wyla, yes.
I can be quite sneaky when I need to be.
Or Wyla could be the young girl that you're attempting to
That's very
put
clever,
into the
Martha.
nunnery.
What a great idea.
She's the perfect age for a more advanced education.
And that would give an excuse for you to wear a veil. Must be very demure in the house of the Lord.
Signy kind of makes a face behind the whipped cream. Only if Wyla feels comfortable doing that. We can make up a multitude of reasons why the child in question is not with us yet.
Martha kind of perks up. She's like, "Oh, and I know the perfect thing you could use in your closet."
I'll whatever you guys need to do. I'm happy to help. I mean, it shouldn't be that hard to pose as a kid.
Well,
Slightly
you'd be
wild
surprised.
kid. I don't think it'll be difficult for you. Sorry,
Well,
Signy,
I
what?
mean, it would be
Oh,
obvious
no.
why she would need some additional education. It would play right in.
I'll say everyone but Martha sees that Wyla opens her mouth to object, but then she just closes it and shakes her head.
So we are in agreement then.
If we find
Tomorrow
something,
morning?
how should we alert one another, Signy?
Ring the
Mm.
bell tower.
Yeah, I'm just the only things that's coming to my mind right now are wholly inappropriate and probably not good in the long run, but I'm not sure. my intention for in my idea here is that this is strictly for reconnaissance, at least from the front end.
Very well. We see anything, we do not engage. We return back here to the hotel.
Correct. And the three of you are a much more precarious position where Martha can get away with her being there. The two of you cannot.
Oh, I have an invitation. If I'm caught, I'll just pull it out of my pocket.
Okay.
That's convenient.
You know, it serves to be prepared.
Do you often have invitations to specific abbeys in a city that you're not normally?
Well, I admit I sought it out.
I see. Well done being prepared then.
Yes, Alec is always thinking ahead for the things we need to be doing. So
Cyrus is like now going back and forth between Signy and Alec. And,
we've known for a couple days now, Cyrus, that we've had to come here, and Alec has a lot of downtime. So just a simple letter writing to the nunnery asking for permission.
Again,
Just a
excellent
letter.
foresight.
So what do we? You're muted, Mike.
You guys are so sus.
Yeah. She's trying to help, but I totally admit that does sound completely sus.
There's no chance she buys any of that, but she's not going to say anything because she's
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
confused.
I feel like there's like Signy's trying to defend it, and at first Cyrus was pushing it, but it's such an obvious it's an obvious cover up that Cyrus goes, okay, all right, whatever, man.
You do you.
Yeah.
Oh,
Out of
Jesus.
this conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Mhm.
So, do we want to? This is kind of out of character. Do we want to do anything else tonight before we turn in? I know this is the 1800s and shops probably close at like 4 p.m. type stuff. So they don't have evening hours. So if we wanted to go talk to Lillian, I don't know if that's an option.
We could go see
Or
if
if
she's
Cyrus
there.
wanted to go.
Yeah, but it's probably I can go and see if she's there. Anyone's free to come with me.
So before you leave, I will give you a piece of detail here. You would know that it would not be impossible to see Lillian, as many of the stores, the shop fronts on the street level above them have an apartment. So Lillian likely lives above her shop. So you could just go knock on her door at her house. If Signy's okay with that.
To be fair. Whatever.
To be fair.
Well, if anyone would like to come with me, I'm certainly happy to have the company.
I'm open for a walk, but I should stay outside. I tend to offend people.
Well,
Oh.
You say that a lot, Alec.
Well,
And I
maybe
offend
then
people a lot.
maybe then you should
Jesus,
accompany with
Melissa.
me, and you could use the practice.
I can come as well and keep Alec company outside. It might do our situation a little better if Alec already has a rapport with her, where us, and she glances at Alec, we were rummaging around her shop, so we might not have the most favorable opinion with her.
Fair. I was mostly thinking having a man knock on your door in the middle part of the evening, unannounced, might
Mm.
Might not put one at ease, as it were.
Touche.
Martha is best in these situations. She is very adept at managing social scenarios.
Martha, and she gives her a look.
Oh,
As long as we're not going to be insulting her.
well, I mean, she is a witch, but I suppose I could put that aside for a moment, just for the sake of the party.
All right. If you'd like to come, Martha, happy to have you with me.
Yes, well, I was going to sit and pick out an outfit for Wyla, but since you need my services, and I am very good with people, I guess that would be okay.
I'm sure we have time to do both.
Okay.
Right. Okay.
So, it sounds like everyone but William is going to.
Because William, I was just thinking he just wants to sit down and have some dinner after today. He cleaned up. It's 5 o'clock. He's got a tea. He's like, I just
feel
want
like
something to eat. God damn it!
I feel like
Cyrus, but they seem to be pushing. So
I feel like whatever happens, we just cut back and forth between whatever the group is doing and William like enjoying a scotch. He's got like a nice steak, potato, like a full-on dinner, and just
He knows-
quiet, a single candle.
When
No.
he's not stressed out or drugged out of his mind, he likes to chill out and enjoy things.
Yeah, I
And
fully
I'm
support.
sorry if you go charging through the woods, killing werewolves. God damn it, you need a nice steak afterwards.
I fully support solo steak dinner. I'm 100% here for it.
We all turn to him for his opinion just as the plate's being put down in front of him from the waitress.
Yeah, you guys were like chatting, and the whole time he was like, "Excuse me, garçon," and he like ordered food.
That is exactly what he would have been doing. 100%.
Everyone goes to get up as the plate comes, and you all just kind of like look, and
He's
What?
like, with
Aren't you
with
guys
a napkin
hungry?
on his lap.
What's going on?
he's like, I ordered 5
tucked in.
whiskeys. Oh, you know what? Never mind. It's cool. I got it.
I'll pour it back in the bottle. Yeah, that's a
yeah. The bottle is me, human decanter. So those of you not enjoying a delicious, 5-star hotel steak dinner, head through the main street down into the French Quarter and back to that little corner store, with the sign in the window called the Verdant Vale. You see that the shop sign has a closed. All the lights are like off inside, but you do see that above there are lit windows in the apartment above, and you do see that there is a bell for the actual store and the apartment above listed there.
So, what is it that you guys want to ask her? Am I just trying to get her to come talk to us, or what's the plan?
The plan is for us to ask about the symbology that we found on the werewolf and find out if she has any insight, and then to see if we can solicit any other information or help that she might be willing to give us. That's the plan.
How are we going to tell her that we encountered this symbology? Are we going to tell her we killed a werewolf?
No. No. What we are going to tell her is that we saw a werewolf and that we identified these markings, these tattoos on him, and to see if she can help us understand what they are.
But we didn't see the tattoos until after he was a person, right?
She doesn't know that.
But
And
the
we're not
werewolf
saying that
itself
we
wasn't showing the I mean, like, as in,
We
he
don't
didn't
have.
tattoos until he was human, right?
will.
We're
we-
just omitting a few of the details, Martha.
But he was furry. How do they have tattoos?
No. A werewolf is furry sometimes and looks human other times. And we saw this person that we know is a werewolf. We saw them in their human form and identified the tattoos.
In the woods?
Or
We don't need it. We do not need to go into details. We'll just say while we were investigating, we saw this person change from a werewolf to a man, and we identified these markings.
yeah, I think that we're having this discussion as we're walking,
Yeah.
and Signy says, Martha, one of the first things you learn when you're becoming a private investigator is that you don't supply any more information than is required. And she will pull out like a piece of paper that has some of the symbols drawn on it, including like the Spirit Mercury, even though we know that one, and as much as because we all took note of those symbols. So the paper has all the notes drawn on, sorry, the paper has all the symbols drawn on them, and she will hand this to Martha. All we need to know is the symbols, unless she asks, and she may not.
Okay, so you want me to hand her this paper and just say, what are these symbols about?
I'll give her a little more detail about where we've seen them on a person, and we will try to a person of interest that we think is associated with those that we're investigating and trying to find that are up to doing the city harm. That's all we'll say. We'll see if she presses.
Okay. I
If
think
you
I
want
can
to
remember that.
Do you want
Just follow
Cyrus
my
to do the
lead.
talking? Yes.
I used to, was it a census worker?
Possibly. If we know are those easily identified in New Orleans?
Well, I mean, about as easily identified as a person we just happen to know is a werewolf.
That's why we don't divulge any more information than is asked.
It's actually a werewolf that was a census worker.
We're a census
Yeah.
worker werewolf.
Yes.
We ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice cup
Yes.
of sorry.
So I'll say one of you must ring the doorbell, and you hear out of the window 1 minute out of the window in the apartment above. About a minute goes by as they casually walk down through the upstairs apartment down into the store itself, and you sort of see them like pull the blind aside
Martha makes sure
to look
she's
through.
the face in the blind.
To make sure she like she looks around to see like everyone, and she opens the door and she says, the store is closed. Is there something I can help you with?
Yes, actually. You
We-
can talk to
we-
him.
We were hoping you
okay.
could help us. Yes, if you have a few moments, we have some information that you might be able to provide us some insight on that we have obtained around the investigation that we spoke of the other day.
You see her like poke her head out and do that like left and right, and then she opens the door and sort of just ushers all of you in, closing the door behind you. What can I help you with?
Well, in our investigation, we identified a person that we are quite confident is associated with those that we're trying to find and identify. And upon their body, we observed some tattoos, some markings, and we were hoping that that you might be able to help us identify what they are and what they mean, and perhaps put some pieces together for us. They're not very familiar to me. They look of perhaps some voodoo, a local nature. But I was hoping you could take a look at them and tell us what you might know about them. We'll be willing to pay for your time if you so need.
This isn't something that's going to implicate me in anything.
I would not expect so. No.
Okay. Yeah, show me what you have.
Sure. We have these markings that we drew and kind of lay it out. We're confident that we know what this one is. The spirit, it points to the Spirit Mercury, but we're not familiar with the other markings. Have you seen these?
You have remind me again how many markings you saw on her person on the werewolf's person. Was it 5?
You didn't specify.
You didn't
Okay.
specify. Yeah.
I believe I gave you a couple of the what they look like. You see the 5 symbols you have, and you drew them all, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we did it. Sketch.
You see a to what you know would have been on the sternum of the werewolf. You have copied down. There are. It's essentially a triangle, but instead of being like a triangle, it's like a swirl connected by 2 other swirls in the middle, kind of forming a triangle. And she looks to that and she says, "This is a triskelion. This is a an anchor point. It could be used in binding. It sort of symbolizes like transformation. If this was on a werewolf, then it could be some way to control the transformation, perhaps."
She's referring to the Triskelion?
Mhm.
Okay.
You see another one on your paper that you know Cyrus to be was on the forearms of the man. They are like angular runes, like kind of forming like a vertical angle. She looks at this and says, "These are a different kind of binding rune. They're usually used in like as a conduit or a stabilization. They can be used as a kind of adding structure to something to further give it control, as like a boundary line almost. This here, and you would know that this one was probably like diaphragm, like bottom of rib cage area. This one is like a large pentagram, but with like almost looks like rays of sun kind of coming out of it. She says, "This is a solar pentacle. This I'm not entirely sure. It symbolizes a connection to the sun, most typically. I'm not sure the significance it has. It could be purely decorative.
Or perhaps part of a group symbol.
It could. I've never seen it personally tattooed on somebody, but it could very well be.
And then Cyrus says, "William, what?" And then stops. It just makes a frown.
We cut to William as a glass of wine gets brought over a bottle. It's like a cork is handed over for him to smell, and a bottle of wine is sort of tipped
they're sitting there,
in.
they're like decanting it right next to the table.
Mozart is playing like
Another fancy businessman comes over. They just like, "Oh, sir, we just wanted to introduce you to this guy." We wanted to introduce you to Angile LeBlanc here. He's a well-to-do businessman in town.
Bit of a strange daughter.
Hysterical. She walks back in, and I'm having a conversation with
her dad,
her parents.
A doctor. Whoa, fancy. She points to.
Actually, no. Sorry. So as Cyrus like realizes William's not there and frowns a bit, he turns to Signy and says, "When you and William were talking to the to the coroner. The one of the did you notice this symbol on
No.
the no? All
It was
right.
just the crescent moon.
All right, understood.
Hmm.
Sorry, Miss Lillian, continue.
No, it's fine. This here, this is a voodoo symbol here, and she points to one, which looks like a. If you're unfamiliar with it, it looks like a sigil. It is a complicated sigil. Cyrus, you identified it as voodoo, judging by the kind of look it has. But she looks to you and she says, "This is," and you would know that this was on his chest over his left pectoral. And she says, is." This is a Veve of Legba. This is how do I Papa Legba is one of the death loa, one of the family of what we would consider death gods. He acts as a like a river Styx. He acts as like a gateway between the spiritual realms.
A guide to the afterlife. Understood.
A guide through spiritual gateways. More specifically, given what I'm seeing here, it seems as though the intention might have been to empower and give control over.
It's
And
like
then
a
she
mind- it's
she
like a mind
pauses.
control?
She pauses for a minute, and you watch as she's puzzling through this, and then her face takes on a bit of a the understanding hits, and there's a grimace, and she says, "I think these were meant to control the shift."
Mm.
To force it, or to force
To-
force the change, or to keep the change from happening? Or maybe it's just
Unfortunately,
one of the
neither.
same. Neither.
I think these were meant to untether it from the moon.
Ah.
Oh, Sydney cuts her eyes to the three of them. I don't want to say it out loud in front of her because I don't want to mention that we saw a werewolf, but she looks pointedly at all of them to make them realize that this encounter happened during the day. Like whether or not it was strangely dark for some reason. The sun, it was still mid-afternoon.
So our ultimate goal here is to find the source of, find who's ever in control, who's ever pushing this agenda. So is there anything in these, so given this level of, say, power for someone to bestow upon these werewolves the ability to control their own curse, who in the city would have the ability to do that? I would expect that this would be some pretty powerful magic. The werewolf's curse is not something simple or easy to be trifled with.
She pinches the bridge of her nose, and she sort of slides the paper away from her, back towards you, Cyrus. And then she kind of looks to all of you and does a head nod in a direction. And she wordlessly gets up and moves around the curtain, around the counter, and into the beaded curtain where she had taken Cyrus previously.
And follow.
Follow?
Yeah. You enter in and you see the scene that Cyrus had seen. There are things in jars. There are various kinds of alchemical creations. There are, salt. There's saltpeter. There are various reagents here. And you watch as, and you see in the center, there's a small, low table with like little cushions around it, which is where Cyrus had his palm being read. As you enter, she's not like paying attention to you in this moment, but you do see her like open up a cabinet. She pulls out a drawer, and you see what could be mistaken as like the palm fronds that you would like hang above your door during, I don't know, what is it, Lent? But she pulls out this like long, like almost palm frond looking thing and begins to like bundle it up, and she places it above the door jamb above the beaded curtain. You see her take a lid off a glass jar, just sort of reach in and scoop out a handful of a white substance and begin to just shake it in front of the door that you all walked through. And you see her, there's a copper bowl. You see her reach in and she grabs a bundle of herbs, and you see as she lights a candle in this room to add a little bit of further light, she burns this and she begins to move around the room, sort of swirling this, kind of making an acrid smoke sort of just hang in the air. And then she leaves it in the bowl to just sort of smolder. She kind of motions to the little small table where Cyrus had sat. There's only 2 cushions. She takes one of them and leaves the rest of you to sort of figure it out as she sits down in front of the table. And she says, if this is what I think it is, this would be incredibly strong magic. And it would have to, someone who has the knowledge of the Loa, it would have to be someone from here, not someone who is from elsewhere who has moved here. Someone who has intricate knowledge of the Loa would have to have bound these symbols in this way. I whatever was done to this person is incredibly complex. This is not something I have heard of. This is not something that has been spoken about in our circles. And this is not something that I think the Witch Queen would be aware of. This is happening entirely unsanctioned. And I don't know who is powerful enough to do this.
Could the circle, would it be helpful for the circle to be aware of this danger such that the circle could help us with eyes and ears about such things and try to put more of this together? We are very short on time to find. We know there's a ritual coming and we need to stop it, and we don't know who is going to execute it. So is there anything that you or the circle, do you think you could do without exposing yourselves, of course, that could help us?
I can attempt to offer assistance. I would need to find out which of my sisters. I don't know who. I would need to find out who's not involved.
We have
Who I
until
can trust.
Blood Moon.
That's not very long at all.
As I said, we're running out of time.
You've investigated all of the murders, correct? Is there anything else you can tell me about them?
Well, it appears that we learned from a first-hand source that some of the murders were happening to bolster a spell or the ritual.
And they are both werewolf and witch. which means that, and we are confident that it is neither witch nor typical. Well, if you have a typical witch, it is neither your circle nor the werewolf pack. There's a third player here that is using both and has pulled elements of both together to make this happen.
You see her drop a little bit. She gets up from the table, grinds out the embers on whatever was burning, the bundle of herbs, and she places it on the counter. And you see her grab a couple of just like random like paper and like pieces of wood, and she throws it into the bowl. You see her grab this little like ampule and pour some liquid in there, strikes a match and lights it on fire, and there's a small contained fire inside the bowl. She walks back over to the table, centers it, and you see her take out a pencil or a piece of charcoal and a strips of paper, and she writes something on it. And then without saying what she writes, she holds it up to you and then throws it in the fire. And for a second, all of you can see a name written on there. And the name is Margot Lafleur.
Isn't that the queen?
No.
No.
The queen is, oh my God.
Broussard?
Nope.
No.
Hold on.
Yeah.
That's an actual
Mama
person.
Cass or something. I don't know.
Mama Cass. Marie Laveau is the witch queen. Mama Cass is the singer.
Yeah,
Sorry. Margot is her friend's name that we didn't see written on her day journal.
It is a name you saw in the journal. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So we don't know who that is. That's why the name's familiar.
Yes, that is correct.
We've had a couple of glimpses of the nun who's taking care of the child. Did we ever get a hint of a name?
No,
Nope.
we did not see her. That was a post scene.
Yeah.
Thing.
I don't think-
Cinematic.
Yeah, I don't think
moment.
that's.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's been part of any of the actual visions.
Mm,
No, just the kid.
Just the
kid.
boy.
So the players know, the characters do not.
Correct.
She writes another series of words on the paper, on a separate piece of paper, holds it up, and you see the name Elara Moreau, and she drops that into the fire as well. And she says, I will talk to my circle. I will find out what I can, and I will find out what assistance we may be able to offer.
Thank you. We all appreciate it. We are staying at, I can't remember, what's the name of the hotel?
Le Hotel.
Le Hotel.
I think it is quite literally the Hotel Nouveau,
Yeah.
the new hotel.
Yes, we are staying at the Hotel Nouveau. If you would like to send us a message there. And please try not to put yourself or your circle in danger any more than all of us are in danger naturally here. But anything you might be able to find, we appreciate. So thank you for your help and for your insights on these tattoos. That's quite helpful for us, I think.
For the safety of everyone involved, this should be the last time we meet face to face.
No, at least until this danger is past.
I will leave any notes with the desk, and you can slide anything under the door.
I was just gonna say, maybe instead of going to the hospital, the hotel, she could leave notes at the cemetery, at the church.
The church, sure.
Oh, sure.
Like we did have a unused prayer box that had the the hex bag in it. Like she can put notes in there.
Yep.
And also Signy will mention the ritual for some expanded information for you. The ritual is supposed to involve a sacrifice, possibly, but it involves a child. I don't know if that will help you in your own investigation.
I'll see what I can find. As far as I know, the murders have dominated the news, but a missing child would oust that, and I have not heard anything about a missing child. But I'll keep my ear to the ground.
Thank you.
Do you have any advice for us? I don't have any experience working with witches or werewolves. Do you have any advice?
It's not like stories. These things take time. This is not an Arthurian tale. Rituals take time, take preparation, have long-lasting effects. Anything that someone like me would do to you would take time and preparation.
I see. So we
And there
may
would
not
be
be
physical signs.
we may not be in immediate danger. Unfortunately, this ritual, whatever it may be, it has likely been planned for perhaps decades.
The level of coordination here, if they are working together, and the implication of they is the names she gave you, this would have taken some time to coordinate. This would have taken a lot of convincing, I think, on both sides. I would say, unless you have actively been receiving hex bags, I think your biggest threat would be the wolves.
I think Signy looks at the others when she says receiving hex bags.
Yeah, I think it's very obvious the moment she says that on Alec's face that they have received hex bags.
Mm-hmm.
I think she kind of clocks that in this moment and says, "Oh,
If you do happen to leave any information for us at the cemetery, we placed a conveniently hidden hex bag that we found in the prayer box or the tithe box."
She kind of nods, and in doing so, she gets up, and you see her rummage through a few drawers as well, and she pulls out some sort of like herb, and begins stripping it of its leaves, right? Almost like pulling the leaves off of thyme or rosemary. So it's just the stem. And she walks over with a small little bundle of these. And who is sat at the table across from her in the cushion spot where Cyrus was, where he was reading?
Cyrus would have motioned for any of the other three to sit.
To sit down.
Alec.
I'll say who.
So it's not me. Yeah.
If you vote Alec, all right. Well, we'll say Alec then. She reaches out and like puts her hand out in a way that says like put your hand in mine, kind of thing. and she begins to tie this stem to your finger. And then in turn, she turns to everyone else who's there and ties one to each of your respective fingers. And then she says, "This is a binding of protection. It is very general. I'm not sure what was in anything you found. I'm not sure what was done. I'm not sure how it was cast or the complexity of it, but this should help."
My cousin is not here. Is there anything that we can do to the hex bag to alleviate the impact?
Um,
And voila.
leave them for me to find. I can attempt to go through and see what I can figure out about it. Here, and she like looks to Cyrus and like puts her hand out for you again and ties another one onto your finger, but loose enough that you could slide it off. So Cyrus, you have two, and everyone else has one on them.
Would it be possible? Is there well, when you look, if you can maybe discern who made the bag, that would also potentially be very helpful. It's unlikely that the bag is marked in any way, but or the ingredients might give it away. But
I think perhaps that has already been communicated, Cyrus.
yeah, okay.
She kind of nods
Yeah.
in agreement with that. I will reach out.
Thank you for your time, Ms. Gauthier. We very much appreciate it.
She gets up and holds the beaded curtain open for anyone to exit. And then if you do, she walks across the floor and opens the front door for you guys to exit her shop.
Yeah, I think
Thank
we
you
do.
so much, and apologies for the late night intrusion, but your help has been invaluable.
You're welcome. I'll say this is not what I expected to be dealing with this evening, but
Nor us.
I'm glad I was able to help.
And we'll say good nights and head back to the hotel.
Okay.
Yeah.
You all head back to the hotel and see a very well sated William. Steak, baked potatoes, the whole 9 yards, escargot.
Oh, he'll just start gushing about the creme brulee that they brought him afterwards. It's just like,
Yeah.
What's a creme brulee?
A tableside flambe on
It's a
top of the
French
creme brulee. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tableside flambe. A little bit of whiskey on top, lights it on fire, all the sugar.
yeah, he'll be
perfectly
like in front of the
caramelized.
fireplace, just kind of blurched out, laying back, like brandy in his hand. It's like, oh, how was your trip?
I was
Suspenders
thinking-
loosened.
I was thinking that would have been an awesome segment where is it Lillian lights the fire that she's gonna drop, like the fire
It's
shoots
the-
up and
it's
they
the
flash back
flambe.
to William and the flambe is going up in the thing. And he's like, oh, that looks delicious.
Ooh.
Yeah, that shit. Alec is like, "What about William? He's not here." And he's like,
So yeah, the group of you collectively returns to the Hotel Nouveau with your circles of protection and some new information here.
Very good.
What are you guys doing to wrap the evening before you head to bed, or are you just heading to bed?
So Martha, through this entire encounter, so she goes in, when everybody's in the back room, she sees all these hexy things and the witch stuff, and immediately crosses herself, right? She's like not so sure about any of that stuff, but she's also very curious. So she's doing this thing where she's kind of like crossing herself, but also trying to look in the little glass vial.
Yeah, yeah. There's the glass vial she dripped inside the bowl was a flammable liquid. But you do see there are like jars of
Yeah, little
like
jar, like all the little things
snakes.
on the, yeah. So she's like,
Yeah.
you know, she's paying attention, but she's also like, you know, like looking at all the things, right? And then when she gets her ring, she kind of hesitates at first, but then she finally holds out her hand, and then you know, the witch, I can't ever remember her name, but that would be
Lillian Gautier.
the witch. She puts the ring on her finger, and Martha kind of has this look that looks very conflicted, and you can't really tell if she's conflicted about taking this, you know, witchy ring, or if it's just because it doesn't match with her outfit.
Yeah, sticks are hard to coordinate, right?
Yeah,
Really.
but everything goes with black and white, right?
Yeah.
So she would go to bed after that, considering her, you know, basically kind of thinking about this experience, and that she, you know, is somewhat disturbed and disgusted by it, but she's also very curious about it as well. You know, because all of her training says that she should not like this woman, but obviously the woman's trying to help, and so she kind of goes to bed twirling her little ring, thinking about things.
And Martha,
Yeah.
you can't go to bed just yet because I had them save creme brulees for everybody because it was so
Ooh.
good. So everybody
she
gets
eats
a
that
dessert
first.
before they go to bed.
Yeah. Signy is like, what the fuck? It's a creme brulee, but she
Oh,
won't have
just
it.
try it.
Yeah.
And you're showed the proper way to crack it on top, to break it.
Like, what is
Why is it so hard and yet so creamy?
And Cyrus will reward.
That's what
William.
she said. No, never mind.
I guess when all of the creme brulee is shared, Cyrus will reward William, not for that comment, but with a stick ring for William. Here, put this on.
Won't Signy get jealous? Giving me a ring?
Well, I'm a man of the world, William.
yeah.
What is this? What am I doing here?
Protection from some of those bags that the bag that we ran into in the restaurant.
He'll look at it, shrug, and be like, "No."
There you go.
Light it on, not think about it.
All right.
He's seen enough shit to like, well, if it works, it works. Doesn't
Yeah,
it? Doesn't.
there you go.
William, you feel mysteriously empowered as you slide it on. No. Just William. William is actually immune to werewolves now. It's crazy. No, you slide this on and you feel nothing. It's just a stick, ostensibly a twig tied around your finger, like a little grass ring. Yeah, the creme brulee is delicious, and without any trouble, the rest of you can bed down for the evening if you so choose. And without anything happening, the sun rises in the morning, and you all awake, ready for your plan to both lie and sneak into a church, a cloister.
Do we even have time to start that, given
Yes.
things?
Okay. Yes, we do.
Apparently, we do.
I was going to say, I love the fact that for several episodes I have prepared the ideas I have for the Abbey, and every time I think you're going to the Abbey, you're like, let's go here instead. Let's go to the bayou. Let's fight wolves. Let's go to the apothecary. And I'm like, God damn it. When are we getting to
So
the
why
Abbey?
break with tradition now? No.
I know, right? As soon as you guys were like, let's go to the apothecary tonight, I was like, we're never getting to the Abbey. It's never happening.
Well,
on,
you're
you
like,
should
well, the night is
expect
still
this.
young. It's only 7 o'clock. So I was like, well, might as well
it's
get
still
everything done that we
nighttime.
can.
It's still
Well, I
nighttime. You
said,
guys
oh,
can
it's-
still-
I'm
We do
glad
this to
we
you
went.
every week in Crystal, or every episode in Crystal Legacy, so
I know.
this should be different.
I should be used to this by now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can start the Abbey. We have some time. So how does this? Okay, so we have two groups here. Group one we'll call the liars, and group two we'll call the thieves.
The sneakers.
So the liars are going to lie about having a ward that they would like to seek, a formal or a religious education here at the Abbey, while the thieves are going to abscond into the secret passageways of the Abbey and skulk and perform skullduggery. Correct?
Yes.
Correct.
Who is on Team Liar? Just as we have a final roster here.
I think it
so
was Signy and I, and who's the ward? Who's gonna-
Wyla.
Wyla.
Wyla?
Okay. So
And are we
Wyla
going to
is
say?
involved.
We're not saying. Are we saying she's our daughter, or should we say because she probably doesn't look anything like us, like it's
No.
a cousin's child that was put into our care or something like that?
Yeah, Signy would just suggest like, yeah, we've come into her guardianship after her mother passed away, because that's pretty much the truth, right?
That's
So
not even a
That is-
lie.
Yeah.
That is true.
Michael-
Yay, we don't have to lie to nuns. Oh wait, we probably will anyway.
And Martha would have taken
We're all going to
great
hell.
pains, by the way, to pick the exact perfect outfit that would have been the if you wanted to present this lady as a demure young lady that is going to be getting a prim and proper education, but also not too rich because she has to look like an orphan too.
So
well, but she's our ward, so she would be a little bit more. She would be more to our standards, I guess, or William's standards, I should say.
So we've discovered the opposite of house poor. It's orphan rich. Is the term?
Yeah.
When you have which I believe orphan rich is just like middle class. So how many is there a what do you call those? Is there a like a petticoat involved in this outfit?
Train or something?
Yeah, is there a train? Is there a trestle involved here? How ostentatious is this dress? Because I assume it's a dress.
Oh, it's definitely a dress.
Yeah.
And there would for sure be, a petticoat, but not much of a train because she does have to be sitting in, be expected to sit in a school bench and learn things.
Yes,
Okay,
probably
okay.
as casually appropriate as possible. Right.
Got it. Okay. So we see a very uncomfortable Wyla in a dress with the appropriate amount of ruffles in it, and an adequately sized bow somewhere on here. And an attempt was made at hair, but an attempt is where it ended. As we have William and Signy entering the front. Oh, good.
Yeah. So before or as we're leaving, Cyrus wants to pull William aside, just for a moment, and he just to keep things brief, just thanks him for patching him up and to taking good care of him, and then he will say, William, good luck on your parts of the mission, and may the spirits watch over you and bring luck and protection. Good luck to you. And then he's going to grant William his my session blessing, where you get a +2 to any roll that you want, and you can
Nice.
whenever you want to use it. So.
Oh, nice.
And then as William turns away, then Cyrus will, of course, talk to his guides and say, Colin, I need you again. Please watch over William and Signy and Wyla as they try to bluff their way through what can be very discerning nuns. So please watch over them and try to bring luck and make sure that they have success. And that's it. Cool. And then they can go and do their thing. But so you got that whenever you want, William.
Perfect, perfect. Yeah, so we would see, I assume you would leave at separate times, and we would see William and Signy and Wyla heading toward the front, the wrought iron gate that leads into the Abbey's like front garden, as it were. Martha, where are you leading Alec and Cyrus into this place?
Well, so I am assuming, having lived there for several years, that I kind of know some ways, some maybe like kind of back way in or something, and some ways around that are less detectable. And so I basically just want to go through the less detectable areas of the Abbey and just kind of see if we see anything or hear anything, any conversations, or see if we see anything suspicious. I know that we're looking for a kid, but there would be a lot of them, but maybe a kid that stands out as strange or lost, or maybe getting a lot of attention from somebody, like an untoward amount of attention, like he's super special.
Okay.
So taking us to like the dorms or wherever like outdoor play areas would be or anything like that.
Yeah, anywhere where we can still stay, kind of inconspicuous.
So how I want to start us off here is I would like William and Signy. I'm gonna have you guys start the role as you are essentially the distraction, right? So this is going to be a manipulate roll. One of you can roll, the other can help, giving you a bonus 1 to that. I will say Martha's painstaking trial to dress Wyla will give you another bonus of 1 for a suitable disguise. So you as you enter, you are met with a couple of glances. It's not like uncommon for people to come here. It is a public space. But eventually someone you see like glances from you see there's 3 distinct sets of people. There are children of varying ages. There are women who are sort of dressed like a nun, but not exactly. They don't have the habit on, and their clothing is simpler. If you are Christian, you would know them to be novitiates. They are nuns that have not taken their vows yet. And you see nuns. The novitiates kind of give you a look. The kids are kind of like just ignoring you. And eventually a nun approaches Signy and William. So to start us off with the lie that is a lie, go ahead and roll me your manipulate with a bonus of +2.
Okay. And I'm also deceptive, so I get +2 when I'm deceiving and manipulating.
Yes, yes, you can.
Yes.
I was gonna bust your balls because you were like, it's not even a lie, Mike. Well, if it's not a lie, then you're not deceiving.
The lie is how she came to be in our
Oh, right. Sure.
Not this current endeavor.
But yeah, definitely.
So go ahead and make that roll.
My empathy and manipulation sucks. So.
No. And I have no conditions. 1 success. Damn it, that's it.
1 success. Would you like to push? You can push. You can
Yeah,
take a condition to push.
Did you include the extra 1 for me?
So Wyla and you give me a +2.
Okay.
And then I get +2. So +4 I added. I don't really want to take a condition. I just don't like the conditions that they give.
If you fail, do you keep the previous 1 at least, or are you?
Yeah. So if you want to push, you'll actually only roll 10 dice instead of 11 dice, and we'll keep the 1 success.
Okay. Yeah. So I will push to try and get some more successes.
So just do a +3 instead of a +4.
Oh, okay. I'll just re-roll it then. Manipulation bonus 3 submit.
So a total of 4 successes.
Yep.
Okay.
Nice.
Here's why you rolled first. I'm going to give Team Liars an option here.
Okay.
You have succeeded. You will be led into the Abbey. and you will be spoken to as if you are prospective adults trying to ward a child here for further education. That's going to happen. Your remaining 3 successes can either be used to lengthen your tour here, or provide better distraction for the other crew. So essentially, you can lengthen your time, use any number of the 3 successes to lengthen your time, or you can give any of the 3 additional successes to the other group for their sneaking around role.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. I just want to make sure what Signy's intention is going to be during this tour is she wants to make sure like she's going to be like, can we possibly see the children that you have in your care? Like she's not going to say that like we want to make sure they're well cared for. Like she wants to get eyes on the kids to see like, oh, is our girl Wyla here going to fit in? But the purpose of it is to try and get eyes on a boy that she's going to recognize. So.
Yes. So you will be with a 1 success. You will be shown all the common places: the church, the chapel itself, the room where they are instructed. You will be shown like the sleeping quarters. You'll be shown the front gardens. So all of the common areas that would be relevant to prospective parents will be shown to you with 1 success. You can lengthen that and extend your time here rather than probably what amounts to like a 30 or 40-minute visit, a quick walk around as you are like spoken to through a tour. That would be 1 success. So you can either lengthen that time and extend your stay here, or you can grant any number of your 3 additional successes to the other team to sneak around.
So maybe we'll take 2 and give them 2, or take 3 and give them 1. What do you think, William?
I think we're already using 1.
Yeah,
so
for
it's
sure.
either so we have to use that. So if we think they're going to need more time, let's keep 1, and then we can be like, I want a tour of the infirmary, and then I can just poke around their medical closet.
Yeah, oh, that's good.
And be obnoxious or something.
Yeah, because you're a doctor.
But giving them 2 gives us a little bit of padding in case they blow a roll, that they can just get 2 automatic successes.
If you only want to give us 1, just to make sure that we don't fail miserably and fall in the middle of the courtyard or something.
I mean, 40 minutes is a pretty long time if we are both kind of getting there at the same time, but how much longer? I mean, we could probably do like another 20 minutes just poking around the infirmary, right? So that way we give them a full hour.
As someone who's had to go on multiple school tours for their child, 30 to 40 minutes is the average, but you can pad it with unnecessary questions and extend it out to about an hour.
Okay, yeah. So seeing the infirmary, asking to see to possibly see the children, and if Signy could get eyes on the stained glass window, that would be superb as well.
Shove Wyla out there with the kids, make her interact.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get along?
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so
she goes in there with her bone.
Just
you told me to always bring it.
Kids, watch this. Shoots a bird out of the sky. So 2 successes for the distraction team. So I will have whoever would like to roll this can roll this. This will be a stealth. Is it stealth or sneak in this game? Stealth. A stealth roll. You will get a bonus of +1 for Martha's knowledge of the highways and byways of Santoris, and you will get an additional +2 for the assistance given by the distraction team. So a total of +3.
Can we talk about a little bit of BS?
Yeah. If it is your dog, no. Unfortunately, the dog will hinder this because there are no dogs in here, and that's an obvious Scooby-Doo giveaway.
Yeah. That's that wasn't my idea, but
okay.
I'm glad I didn't suggest that. No. I was thinking about the fact that when Alec got dressed that morning, they realized that the Abbey is a historic location, and they have been collecting books there for quite some time. They have an established library that has become very well known across North America for all of the books that are there. And in fact, scholars are constantly flock there. They are accustomed to having scholarly visitors. And so that day, when Alec gets dressed, they make sure to be in their top hat and tails and their little glasses, and they carry a stack of books.
Okay, so this is acting as a disguise, more or less, for you,
And it's erudite.
And-
So I'm going
and
for
it's erudite. Yeah.
erudite to establish truths about places. So I'm just trying to give us a bonus.
Yeah, actually, I'm sorry, I misspoke. It is a bonus +1 for the habit, as you are being led around by a nun. A bonus of +1 for the erudite scholar disguise, and a +1 for Martha's knowledge of the highways and byways of this place, with an additional +2 from the distraction group. So right now we're at a total of +5 for the roll. Cyrus, is there anything else you want to attempt to add here?
Nothing. Well, other than the fact that Cyrus is just stealthy to begin with, but that's fine. I don't.
So
He
should Cyrus be the
dress.
roller?
I can roll. Other than the fact that it's me rolling, I probably have the highest stealth out of over you two. So
I
I'm happy to
believe you
roll.
do.
But I guess the only thing Cyrus would have done is, knowing we're going to the Abbey, he would have dressed nicer than he normally would in terms of like clothes, and tried to as high collared, long sleeves as possible to kind of cover everything up as best he can.
Yeah,
Okay.
Alec would have fitted out Cyrus with a nice cravat.
Oh, that's perfect. Love it.
Perfect. Okay, so I will say that will negate the -1 that you are about to get for Cyrus, looking like
Nice.
he does. So that is a total of a +5 to your roll, Cyrus.
All right, I am making my roll.
Let's go.
Do it.
Okay, that is 2 successes. If you would like to push, you can.
Yeah, actually, I think I will try to push that.
Okay, so
that's
just re-roll with a +3
+3
instead of a +5. Yeah.
Got it. Let's try that again. Oh, sorry.
What?
Just the 2.
Okay, perfect. You succeed on your stealth roll, and for everyone watching, if you want to see what happens next, make sure you tune in for episode 38, because that's where we end this episode of Mundus Novus. We are officially in the Abbey. The rolls have been successful. What will our intrepid investigators find when they spelunk and skulldug their way through the Abbey to find secrets unknown? But that's it from us. So thank you so much for hanging out with us. If you want to see the after show that we're about to shoot, go check it out over on our Patreon. Link in the description down below. Join us at the $5 tier for that. But for now, let's do our outroductions, get the hell out of here so we can do said after show. We'll start at the top of my screen. G, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And what are you up to?
Hello, I'm the friendly neighborhood lightning invoker. You'll find me modding for all things unMadeGaming, and playing in all the Patreon games, which includes the Rise, which is the 3rd Sunday of the month, the one shots on the 4th Sunday of the month. Oh, sorry, Saturday of the month. This campaign, which is going forward, going to be the 4th Saturday of the month, and then in April, me and Melissa will be with Mike and Chris for the Age of Always, Atari Twilight. And you can find me in the Discord and on Blue Sky.
Hell yeah. Jumping straight down, we'll go to John. Who are you? Where can we find you? What are you up to?
Hi, I'm John. I am Ask Why in the unMadeGaming Discord. Yeah, internet-wise, that's where you'll find me sneaking around, much unlike my mediocre stealth rolls here. So.
Perfect. Yeah, that was what, 15 dice? How many was that?
13, I think.
13.
Wow.
13 and then what, 11? Yeah.
13
and only
11,
2
yeah.
sixes.
24 dice. I got two sixes.
2 sixes.
Didn't
Hell
we
yeah.
say that you rolled too well in our last game on Friday?
Yeah,
Isn't that
yeah.
what
We
said?
did.
Yes.
Well deserved here.
Yeah. I knew the balance
Perfect.
was coming.
Yeah. From John, we'll jump down to Matt. Who are you? Where can we find you? What are you up to?
I'm Matt. I'm Vaughn in the Unmade Discord, and pretty much the only place you'll find me outside of there is playing World of Warcraft, and also posing as a reference model for all of the GamesWithStories.com art pieces.
Perfect,
Nice.
perfect. Use
that
what
is
you have,
great.
you know. Use what you have.
And John,
Um,
all your great roles come from D&D Beyond, and all our crap rolls always seem to be
Oh, that's
in
true.
roll 20.
Don't
I think
don't
I think
give
their
him that.
number generator
Don't-
is just
Don't give him
Aw.
that. He rolls equally horrible in our D&D game as well.
come on. I was trying to make him feel better.
That's
Jeez.
true. I rolled pretty terrible there too, but
Don't blame it on the number generator. It's all John.
it's all me.
It's all something you did in a past life, John. Coming back to you.
That's
all
on
right.
brand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll jump right over to Wintress. Who are you? Where can we find you? What are you up to?
I'm Wintress. I play Martha LeBlanc here. Hello. You won't find me, I don't think. You can look me up on the internet. I'm the only Wintersodom in the world, I think. So, you can Google, and wherever you find me, that's where I am.
Perfect.
I play I play this game. That's it.
Hell yeah. And last but definitely not least, Melissa, who are you? Where can we find you? What are you up to?
You can find me here playing this game. As G said, we are now the fourth Sunday of the month, which is great. We're gonna be here consistently. Yay, that's gonna be great. Atari Twilight in April. And what is that? Is that the third Saturday of the month, G? Yes?
Yeah.
Yes.
Atari Twilight, Age of Always, third Saturday of the month. And then in the one shots and in the Discord, you can find me as Draftier, and then on the internet, you can find me as gameswithstories.com, where I have a whole bunch of unmade gaming fan art.
Hell freaking yeah. That's it from us. We're going to get out of here. We're going to do our after show. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Thank you so much for watching. Let us know in the comments below what you think is going to happen in the Abbey. But for now, we're going to get out of here. So from all of us to you guys, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.